Hello, Assalamualaikum students. So today we will be studying the lecture number 6 about the topic normalization in our subject data warehousing. Actually, you must have learned the topic normalization in your previous semester, in your previous classes, especially in the subject database management system. Why we are studying the normalization in data warehousing? Because in data warehousing the data is specified in denormalized form. So to understand the denormalization we must have some concept of normalization. So to quickly grasp the idea of normalization, we will be recapping this topic normalization in this subject. So we'll start now. There are some questions. At the end of this lecture you will be able to answer these questions. So questions are: question number 1, what is normalization? Question number 2, what are the goals of normalization? So the goals are briefly to eliminate redundant data and to ensure data dependencies make sense. Question number 3, what is the result of normalization? And lastly, question number 4, what are the levels of normalization? We'll start normalization from first normal form. Actually there are different normal forms, and these normal forms are stages or levels of normalization. So the normalization starts with the first step, that is known as the 1NF or the first normal form, 2NF or the second normal form, 3NF or the third normal form. Then there is BCNF or Boy's Code normal form, then 4th NF, then 5th NF. In this way there are different steps of normalization, and these normal forms are cumulative, means they are based on one then the other. Let's say if the table is in third normal form, it means it qualifies the second normal form in first normal form automatically, and it will try for acquiring the fourth normal form. We'll see in the coming slides. So we start from the first normal form, and to start the first normal form, let's see, before first normal form let's consider a scenario. So consider a student database system to be developed for a multi-campus university such that it specializes in 1 degree program at a campus, i.e. BS, MS or PhD. We are considering a scenario in which a university student data is considered, and the university has 3 different campuses in 3 different cities. Let's say Lahore campus, Islamabad campus and Karachi campus. And in these 3 different campuses, which are located in 3 different cities of Pakistan, there are 3 different programs offered. Like in Islamabad campus, the BS program, the offered program is BS, and MS is offered in Lahore campus, and PhD is offered in Karachi campus. So let's consider some data that is arranged in this tabular format, and in this data there are 5 different fields. What are the fields? SID stands for student ID, degree stands for degree, means in degree we can specify BS, MS or PhD, and degree is the degree is the name of column in which some student is registered. Then there is campus and campus represents the city where that campus of the university is located. Course means the course taken by that particular students, and the marks represents the marks acquired in different courses taken by some particular student. So the first NF, first normal form, is defined as each cell contains atomic values. Each cell in the table must contain atomic value. And the second part of definition reads also contains redundant data. Means although there is some redundant data in the table, but each cell in the table must contains the atomic or the single value. So if we see this table, it clearly violates the constraint that each cell must contain single or atomic value. Why? Because in the fields course and in the field marks, there is a clearly violation of this constraint. Why? Because course, the first cell in course, it contains multiple values, 6 multiple values, and marks as well contains, one cell contains multiple values. So clearly this table is not in first NF. First we'll try to convert this tabular data into first NF or the first normal form. In these slides we have reorganized the table so that each cell contains a single value or atomic value. On the left hand side we have the old data in tabular format, and on the right hand side we have reorganized we have rearranged the table so that now each cell contains the single value. Now we can claim that this table on the right hand side, it is in first normal form. Over here we have encircled some values or some data. Why? Because these encircled data is redundant. So the definition of first normal form is each cell only contains atomic values. This is fulfilled, but also contains redundant data. But it indicates that now there is some data redundancy, and this data redundancy needs to be eliminated. Why? Because the redundancy creates some problems or difficulties, and these problems or difficulties are known as the anomalies. So we will try to eliminate this redundancy in order to avoid the anomalies. First we'll see what these anomalies are, then we'll try to remove this kind of redundancy. Anomalies, update anomalies. There are 3 different anomalies. They are insert anomaly, delete anomaly, and update anomaly, and collectively these anomalies are known as the update anomalies. In this slide we'll define the anomalies with examples. The text in green color, these are the definition of different anomalies, and the text in black, these are the example of these anomalies. So the first anomaly is about insert anomaly, and the definition of insert anomaly is when a certain data are attributes, when certain attributes cannot be inserted in a database without the presence of other data. When we are unable to insert some entries, some attributes in a table or in a database without the presence of other data, means if we don't have some part of data, then we cannot enter, we cannot specify the other part of data that is available. For example, certain student with SID 5 got admission in PhD at a different campus, say Karachi, cannot be added until the student registers for a course. For example, we suppose there is a student whose student ID is 5 and this student has got admission in PhD program and that program is offered in Karachi campus, but since this student is not he is not registered or he has not taken the courses, since he has not taken the courses, we cannot specify his name or his program into the table. Let's say in this tabular format, in the end, if we want to specify SID 5 and degree program PhD and campus is Karachi, we cannot enter this type of data in this table. Why? Because we don't have the course information, and obviously we don't have the marks information. Since we don't have the course information and marks information, we cannot enter the available data, that is student 5 degree program is PhD and campus is Karachi, in this table. So we need to reorganize this table in a way that we can add the available data. Then there is another anomaly, delete anomaly, and it is defined as if you want to delete some data which is unwanted, and it causes the deletion of data which is unwanted. For example, if we want to delete some part of data and this data is unwanted, it is we want to delete the unnecessary data, but this deletion of unnecessary data causes the deletion of essential data. So this type of anomaly is known as the delete anomaly. For example, if a student graduates and his or her corresponding record is deleted, then all information about that student is lost. For example, if there is a student who has completed his graduation and we want to omit his name from the attendance register, but if we omit his name from the current attendance register, his other type of data that is essentially and it needs to be retained into the record, that information is also being lost. So this kind of anomaly is known as the deletion anomaly, that you want to delete the unnecessary data, but it is being caused, it is a cause of deletion for the unwanted, for the data that is essential. We'll see in a moment that if some student needs to be deleted from the current attendance register, this data is being deleted from the whole record. Then we have the update anomaly, and the definition of update anomaly is we want to update a single piece of data, but it must be done at all of its copies. If there is a redundancy of data and we want to update or change some data, we must do the change or update at all the instances wherever that particular data is specified or repeated. For example, if a student migrates from Islamabad campus to Lahore campus, say SID 1, then 6 rows would have to be updated with this new information. Means if there is a student whose SID is 1 and this student who is now in campus Islamabad, he is migrated from Islamabad to Lahore, and we want to update the campus from Islamabad to Lahore, then we must make the change or update everywhere ever there is Islamabad mentioned. Like if there are 6 entries of Islamabad, we must change all entries of Islamabad from Islamabad to Lahore. So this kind of anomaly is known as the object anomaly. So this anomaly will be eliminated when we convert the table into 2NF. And the definition of 2NF is every non-key column is fully functional dependent on PK or primary key. What are the non-key columns? Non-key columns or non-key fields are those fields which are not primary key, and the primary key is the field which uniquely identifies the record. For example, CNIC or Computerized National Identification Card or CNIC number uniquely identifies a person. We cannot means two persons cannot have the same CNIC. Each person has his or her unique identification in CNIC. So in this scenario, we can say that CNIC uniquely identifies a person. So primary key is that key that uniquely identifies a record. Okay. So in the second normal form, every non-key column, every attribute which is not primary key, that attribute must be dependent and fully dependent on the primary key. For example, the table named as first is in 1NF. This table, first table, it is in 1NF. How it is in 1NF? Because each cell contains the atomic or single values, but it is not in 2NF. Now we'll convert it into 2NF. First we must understand what is 2NF. Now the first table is in 1NF but not in 2NF. Because why it is not in 2NF? Because degree and campus, these are names of fields. Degree and campus are partially dependent upon only on the column SID of the composite key SID and course. This can be illustrated by listing the functional dependencies in the table. Now our primary key has two attributes, SID, student ID, and course. Collectively, these two attributes serve as the primary key. Means our primary key consists on two attributes, SID, student ID, and the course. And every non-key attribute must be fully functional dependent on the both keys, SID and course, because collectively this is primary key. Now this table, first table, is not in 2NF because two non-key attributes, degree and campus, they depend on the one part of primary key, that is SID. Degree and campus partially depend on the primary key. So this can be illustrated by listing the functional dependencies in the table. Like SID arrow or determines campus comma degree, means the campus and degree, these are dependent on SID, only on SID. And what is SID? SID is a part of primary key. Then in the second row, campus determines degree. Campus is non-key attribute and degree is also non-key attributes. Now campus determines degree, or in other words, degree is determined, or degree is dependent on campus. So campus determines degree, degree is dependent on campus, and these two are the non-key attributes. This kind of dependency is also the problematic. In the third row, SID comma course. Now collectively SID and course, this is a composite key and it serves as a primary key. This determines marks. Now only the non-key attribute marks is fully functional dependent on the composite key SID and course. This is the legitimate dependency. Marks exhibits the legitimate dependency. And the dependency of campus and degree is not legitimate. The dependence of degree on campus is also not legitimate. It is not allowed. To transform the table first into 2NF, we move the column SID, degree and campus to a new table called registration. We are going to make a new table named as registration, and we will move three attributes SID, degree and campus into newly formed registration table. The column SID becomes the primary key of this new table, and we'll specify SID as the primary key. Let's see. Now we have two tables, registration and performance. In registration we have specified three columns SID, degree and campus. SID is underlined, means it serves as the primary key, and degree and campus are non-key attributes. They are dependent on the SID, that is primary key. In performance table we have SID, course and marks. SID and course are underlined because these two SID and course, these fields combine to make a primary key, so this is known as the composite primary key. Marks is fully functional dependent on this composite primary key. Performance is in 2NF as SID and course. SID course uniquely identify marks. So now we can say that performance is in 2NF. Why? Because there is a fully functional dependency. Presence of modification anomalies for table in 2NF for the table registration, they are. Now if we see the registration table, there are also some anomalies, and these anomalies are insert and delete anomalies. Insert anomaly: until a student gets registered in a degree program, that program cannot be offered. So if we see that if a student wants to get admission in PhD at Karachi, then he or she must have registered and got the SID or student ID. Otherwise he cannot be offered the program. Until a student gets registered in a degree program, that program cannot be offered. Normally the programs are initially offered, then the students got the registration in that program. But over here we have a constraint that program cannot be offered until a student is registered in it. Deleting any row from registration destroys all the facts in table. If we are going to delete some row, then all the information, some necessary information will be deleted. So there is a presence of insert as well as delete anomalies. Why there are anomalies? The table is in 2NF but not in 3NF. Now the registration table has got the 2NF, second NF, means the two non-key attributes are now dependent on the SID, that is student ID, and it serves as the primary key. Although they are fully functional dependent, degree and campus are fully functional dependent, hence we can say that registration is in 2NF, performance was already in 2NF, but there are still some anomalies, insert and delete anomalies. We need to omit, we need to eliminate these anomalies. In order to eliminate these anomalies, we must convert the table registration into 3NF. So what is the definition of 3NF? All columns must be dependent only on the primary key, no transitive dependency. Means all the columns that are the non-key elements, non-key attributes, all the non-key attributes or columns must depend on only the primary key. There must not be any transitive dependency. What is transitive dependency? We'll see in a minute. Table performance is already in 3NF. The non-key column marks is fully dependent upon the primary key. So for the table performance, there is no any transitive dependency. Registration is in 2NF but not in 3NF because it contains a transitive dependency. Let's see how the registration table contains the transitive dependency. A transitive dependency occurs when a non-key column that is dependent of the primary key is the determinant of other column. Means if there is a non-key attribute, that is, it must be dependent on the primary key, but that non-key attribute is also determinant of another non-key attribute. The another non-key attribute is depending on this non-key attribute. So this is known as the transitive dependency. We must eliminate this kind of dependency. The concept of transitive dependency can be illustrated by showing the functional dependencies in registration. Let's see registration, name of table dot SID, name of attribute or field. SID field determines registration dot degree. So SID, student ID, determines degree, or in other words, degree is dependent on student ID. In second row, SID, student ID, determines campus, or in other words, non-key attribute campus is dependent on key attribute, primary key attribute, student ID. In the third row, registration dot campus, or the attribute campus determines the attribute degree. Means now the campus is non-key attribute and degree is also the non-key attribute. Campus determines degree, or in other words, degree is dependent on campus. Now this kind of dependency is problematic. As a whole, we can say degree is dependent on campus, campus is dependent on student ID, or in other words, student ID determines campus and campus determines degree. Now this kind of dependency is known as the transitive dependency, and we must eliminate this dependency. Note that registration dot degree is determined both by primary key, student ID, and non-key column campus. How we'll eliminate this transitive dependency? To transform registration into 3NF, we create a new table called campus degree and move the column campus and degree into it. Degree is deleted from the original table registration. Therefore, two new tables are created, campus degree and student campus. Now we have created two tables from the old table registration. In registration, there was a transitive dependency because the non-key attribute degree was dependent on the non-key attribute campus. To eliminate this transitive dependency and to convert the tables into 3NF, we have created two tables, student campus and campus degree. In student campus, we have specified the old primary key, that is student ID, and we have specified the campus non-key attribute campus. Campus is fully functional dependent on student ID. In the other table that is named as the campus degree table, in this table we have specified campus as the primary key and degree, that is the non-key attribute. Now degree is dependent on the campus. Now these tables are in 3NF. Removal of anomalies and improvement in queries as follows. Insert able to first offer a degree program and then student registering in it. Means now we are able to offer a degree program, then the students will register. Update migrating the student between campuses by changing a single row. Now if some student is migrating from Islamabad to Lahore, we need to make a change in single entry. Deleting information about a course without deleting facts about all columns in the record. We can make the deletion in that particular entry and it will not affect the remaining records. For the conclusion, normalization guidelines are cumulative. There are different forms of normalization: first NF, second NF, third normal form, or third NF. So these normalization forms are the cumulative, meaning if we look on the figure on the right hand side, we'll see that 1NF or first normal form, this is enclosed by 2NF or the second normal form, and in turn second normal form is enclosed by the 3NF or the third normal form. Means if some table is in 2NF, it means that table is already satisfying the requirements of 1NF or first normal form. Or if some table is in 3NF, it is already in 2NF and 1NF. So this is known as the cumulative. Normalization guidelines are cumulative. Generally, it's a good idea to only ensure 2NF. So for the data normalization, we'll achieve the normalization up to 2NF. So it's sufficient to achieve or to make the tables normalize up to 2NF. There is a 4NF with no multi-valued dependency. So obviously there are different levels of normalization. In 4NF there is constraint that there must not be multi-valued dependency, and after 4NF there is 5NF. So that's all for today, students, and we'll be discussing the further topics in our coming classes. Till then, Hafiz.